Yo guys, what's going on? It's Roadome here. I'm back with another build video. I know it's been a while since my last one, but I've actually quit the game just like everybody else it seems, but somehow the game always calls you back. But anyway, I am back with a new updated build. This one's pretty decent. I know it's not the best one out there, but I just want to show you guys what I've got, let you guys base your builds off of this if you'd like to. But without further ado, let's just jump right into the build video. You can see the stats on screen here. Now this is with the max recovery or the increased recovery boon. I have tested with the max magicka boon. That's what I used to use before that. The stats are now popping up on screen. The pros to this setup is you will definitely hit a lot harder with that increased max magicka. I personally have found though that the sustain is not nearly as good, and a live group member is doing more DPS and more support than a dead group member. So I tend to lean more towards the increased magicka recovery, strictly because I can stay alive longer, I can help out my teammates more, and it just works best for me. Keep in mind, I did not make this build for 1v1 purposes. While it does shine in about every category, it's best used in small to medium group sized PvP. Now, moving on to the gear setup, we are rocking the 5 spinners, 5 fortified brass, and 2 engine guardian. I was running the same armor set last patch. The only thing that changed was the monster set. I'm going with engine guardian strictly again because of the sustain. While it does not proc what you want most of the time, every proc does help in each situation. Now I am rocking 5 light armor pieces, 1 medium and 1 heavy because of the Undaunted 9 passives. If you do not have Undaunted 9, I would definitely recommend going for it, but for the time being, rock 7 light pieces would be ideal. And being a Dark Elf Templar, I have tried subbing in Valka's Scoria. I will show you clips on screen now, but again, I found the sustain of the Engine Guardian to be much better, and the benefits to be much better than the supposedly added DPS with the Valkan Scoria. But again, that's a choice you're gonna have to make on your own. Try out each one and do what you think works best. Moving on to the skills, I am using Vampire's Bane, Puncturing Sweeps, Inner Light, Radiant Oppression, Toppling Charge, and Shooting Star on the front bar. And I want to touch on the front bar really quick with these specific skills. Having Inner Light and Shooting Star on the front bar with the Mage's Guild passives will give you crazy amount of stats. That's why I have them slotted that way. I use Shooting Star because of the flame damage and because of the Dark Elf passives. You could also go Ice Comet if you're not a Dark Elf. Switching on over to the back bar now, I use Total Dark, Purifying Light, Ritual of Retribution, Elusive Mist, Honor of the Dead, and the Resto Staff ulti. I don't remember the name of it, I do apologize. I find that ulti is better than the Templar healing ulti because you have the ability to move and use other abilities while you use it. But again, you have to make the tests yourself and figure out what works best for you and your playstyle. One thing I get a lot is, Roadome, how come you don't use Harness Magicka or some type of shield? And personally, I feel on a Templar it is a waste of a skill. With all the heals you have, including Total Dark, which a lot of people don't know heal you, you don't need shields. It will take time and it will take some practice, but if you get the build down and you get the mechanics down, you won't need shields. That's all I need to say. Very briefly, I'd like to take a look at the champion point tree. I'm not going to go over and explain each and every one of these or why I put these where I did. Everyone's champion tree is going to be different and should be different. And to be honest with you, I don't really have any sort of way I put these in. I just do this based off of trial and error and what works best for me. Again, you're going to have to do things on your own, but you can certainly base yours off of mine. A few side notes I'd like to make while we wrap up the end of this video is, again, it's going to take some practice and it's going to take some trial and error feels to figure out what works best for you. I know I've said that a few times. Also, the build I'm showcasing, I have a lot of skill points and a lot of passives. For instance, I have all of the passives in medium and heavy armor. I have the Undaunted passives, I have Mage skill passives, all things that require grinding. There is a good chance you're not going to be able to have that many skill points or anything like that. So if you can't, don't feel bad. Work with what works best for you. Sub in some things if you need to. It's all a feel out kind of a thing, if that makes sense. Another thing I'd like to touch base on is I use the Witch's Night Mother Potent Brew. And then I also use the Essence of Spell Power, the potions that I craft. They give you spell crit, spell damage, and they also recover max magicka. If you can't make them or you can't afford to buy them, I would recommend just using the potions that are available in PvP for alliance points, as alliance points are really easy to come by and it doesn't cost your own gold. And guys, that's gonna about wrap up this build video. I'm sure I've missed out some things, so if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below or message me on Xbox. I also stream live on Twitch. The link is in the description below, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Some quick bonus content for you guys, for those who have made it this far into the video. I use this character as my main character, not just for PvP. I also use it for PvE. I switch in these specific skills here when doing PvE, and I line up as a DPS or a healer for dungeons, and I can do both roles perfectly fine, and it's something you could take advantage of if you tend to use this build as well.